Last 30.
Could be in trouble here. What a nasty return for him to cope with there.
We're playing tennis, and my love is on the line. You fire your shots so hard, it's like you know just where it hurts. We're playing tennis, making up the rules. You throw your racket down and still the crowd is on your side.
Did you have a nice time with family?
Yeah, we went to London. I don't particularly like London, but I made the most of it.
Why don't you like London?
Because it's way too busy. The tube just makes me feel grimy and grungy and disgusting. You're always bumping into people. This is going to make me sound a bit bougie, but I've been to New York.
Yeah.
I think you've been to New York. You know, the sidewalks in New York are like massive.
Yeah.
So even when it's really busy and there's a lot of people,
yes,
you don't feel like it's jammed. You're not bumping into people.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, in London, you'll just constantly just feel like a sardine in a can, and I just hate it.
So you're relieved to get back to the seaside and then to come and sit in a rather quiet stage athletic clubhouse.
Yes, yeah, it is quiet in here today, but yeah, sometimes you just need that. You know?
Oh, well, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy London. Jack and I have just been playing tennis out on the stage athletic tennis courts, and he's just still getting changed. Yeah, it's very annoying. I knew he'd have a really good drop shot. Do you know what I mean? He's just one of those players who just, at amateur level, when you just get into a rally situation and they just throw in the odd drop shot, which obviously, as not as lithe as I once was, 48-year-old, I can't sprint towards the net, and he knows that, and it's really annoying.
It's not fair, yeah.
I mean, I would say 20% of them come off, but the ones that do are really annoying.
I could actually hear your guys' grunting
and
groaning from the club whilst I was in it.
Well, he's got a bit of a Monica Seles grunt going on as Jack, which was uncharacteristic. I didn't expect that sound to come out of his body, I'll be honest. And do you know what he did that's really, really annoying? He did an underarm serve.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that is just not acceptable, I don't think.
No, I agree.
mean, my serve is not great. His serve is not great. But I think to then just unexpectedly do an underarm serve, it's not on, is it? It's not.
No.
It's not etiquette.
Are these the musings of a sore loser right now? Is that what we're getting?
Jazz, it's not really about that. It wasn't a really competitive game, obviously. But he might have won. What's your tennis like?
You know what? It's not particularly great. I'm not bad at badminton, but my tennis leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Why is that, do you think?
I think like you, I mean, I know that I'm a lot younger than you, but I just don't have the arm reach and stuff. I think you need to be quite tall as well to be quite good at tennis.
Yes.
And I don't have that with me, I'm afraid.
Well, years ago, when I split up from my first love, I went off on a whole series of holidays, actually, as is my wont. One of which was going to see my friends who had a house in Mallorca. Well, his uncle, to be more accurate, had a house in Mallorca, and he was out there with his girlfriend at the time. And he said, why don't you come out and chill out? And I was like, well, that'd be quite nice, but I want to be active. I didn't want to just sit and wallow for a little while. So I booked a little tennis training camp at a tennis school in Mallorca.
That's pretty cool.
And I did like 5 mornings. And it was really great because I got up in the mornings, I'd hired a car, and I drove down to the south of the island. They were staying up in Palencia, I think. And I drove down in the mornings and I would go have my tennis lessons for a couple of hours, and then I'd take myself off, find a beach or a restaurant for lunch, and then sort of convene with them in the afternoons. So I did improve my tennis during that period of time, and a couple of things stood out to me. One was one of the exercises we did, which I try and do, is to get a consistent time between the ball bounce and hitting the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So often when you're an amateur, you're rushing and you're not positioning your body relative to the ball very well. So you end up doing like bounce, hit, bounce, hit, bounce, hit, bounce, hit, bounce, hit. And so irregularity means that you're always sort of chasing the game a little bit. So if you anticipate where the ball's going and get in a good body position, then you can start to regulate that timing to try and just always get bounce, hit, bounce, hit. And that was one thing I've tried to remember since then. It's funny when you do courses, how little you end up taking away like one or two things, having spent hundreds or thousands of pounds on these things. Have you ever had any like sports coaching?
You know what? No, I haven't actually. I have got a course next Friday, but that is to do with spirits. Nothing to do with sport.
Oh, great. Do you know what it entails?
Yeah, I'm going to be learning about like spirit tasting and, all about serving spirits in pubs and the alcoholic content and enjoying rums and things. It should be quite nice.
Great. Yeah, that's really good. And is that off your own volition or the...
It is. I managed to get a grant to do it. It's there'll be a qualification at the end of it.
Great.
And an exam and a certificate. So.
And is that different to being a mixologist, like a cocktail thing?
It's it's a similar thing. It's by a company called like WSET, and they do like a wine course as well, which I do want to do because I know next to nothing about wines. But it's different than a mixology, but I'm just going to be qualified in spirits, which is quite cool.
Great. Well, I mean, I've always thought you've always been in pretty good spirits when we spend time together, so it'd be nice to be qualified in that respect.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So shall I tell you a little bit about the history of tennis? Because Jack's taking some time. I think,
I'd love that.
In truth, he got a call from his agent as he was in the dressing room, which I think is always quite a cool thing to do. It's one of those things that reminds you that you're an actor, is when your agent rings in public situations or when you're with other people. Sorry, I need to take this. It's my agent. And it can make you obviously seem like a dick, but it can be quite reinforcing. I remember I think I've told this before on the podcast, but years ago when I'd just come out of drama school and just signed with my agent, me and my mate Elliot Cowan, great actor, fine friend, we went to play golf and we were on the tee and my agent rang. I mean, I was obviously hopeful it was some sort of call to have a movie audition or something.
Yeah.
I think they were just checking my bank details as it happened or something like that. But it was nice just to halt the game, take the call from my agent and continue.
So when Jack does eventually join us, is his big head going to fit on the screen?
I mean, we struggle in most weeks, but it depends the nature of the call. It could be, I mean, I really hope this isn't true, that his agent's dropped him. That would be that'd be horrible news for him to come in.
Yes, it would be interesting podcast chat.
It'd be great podcast chat, but I hope it isn't true.
Yeah, that's...
What if that was actually true, though, and I just came in crying?
So you weren't dropped?
No, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. We were just saying that it'd be horrible if you'd been dropped by you.
Yeah, that'd be as if that you suggested
really
that was
horrible.
even... Don't even put that into the universe, man.
I know. I've had friends who've had that call, though.
I can imagine,
which can't be nice.
No.
So, welcome back into the Clubhouse, you smarmy little git with your drop shots and your underarm serves.
Drop shots are good, mate. And
I know, but they're good, like, when you're number one in the world, but to be an amateur drop shot, which only gets about 20% of your attempts in, but the ones that do work, it's very annoying.
Yeah, but who won?
You did, but
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just saying.
So there you go. They obviously worked because I won the game. And then, it was just great. I won the game, sprinted back in, getting changed, and then my agent phoned, and I was like, sorry, Rob, I'd love to stay and gloat, but I can't speak to my agent. And now I'm back here. But, drop shots are great. I am who's the Australian dude?
Kyrgios.
I am the Kyrgios of the Stage 2 Athletic
in many respects.
Many respects. What are your thoughts on Kyrgios?
Well, I think I've gone through a journey. I think undoubtedly sport brat wanker at times. But what I've really grown to appreciate is he's a really good pundit.
Yes.
When he's dropped into the comment part, it really adds insight to the players. He's a bit more objective, he's a bit more generous, but he's still got that bite that you want out of someone. So I think stick to punditry.
He's kind of relatable as well, actually. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He doesn't bring it on that arrogance that he has on the court. It's just sort of knowing, and he seems like quite a nice guy, actually, weirdly.
Yeah. It's obviously a massive coping mechanism, isn't it?
Big time, yeah.
But I'm a fan, actually, and I hope to see him in more punditry. But as was the situation in a lot of amateur games, Jack and I found ourselves in a lot of juices. You know, when you can't separate it, you can be in an interminable game where you're going back and forth in juices, which got me looking into the origin of the scoring system.
Go on. What is it? 15, 30 juice, 40 juice?
Well, it's weird, isn't it? Obviously, a tennis game is unique to any other sport where it goes 15 and 15 love. We'll talk about love in a second. Then it goes, obviously, 30. Then you'd think logically, therefore, it would go to 45.
But no, it goes to 40, yeah.
So there's very disputed ideas about this, but the thought was tennis is an old game with different origins, but a lot of it is rooted back to France, and the scoring system is rooted back to France, and actually playing hand tennis was the origin of it. They transferred to rackets when people start getting calluses on their hands, etc.
What were they playing with? Shot puts?
Well, one of the origins for the scoring system is that they used to use clock faces to keep score. And so they would move it, the first point they would move from 12 hands up, 12 o'clock position. The first scorer would go to 15. So they'd use 2 clock faces. The first scorer would go to 15. Or they'd use 2 hands, rather. The first score would go to 15, then 30, and then obviously because they decided that you need to be separated by 2 points, deuce, 2 points, or something, can't remember offhand. I really should improve my research if I want to take over from Sandy Toksvik.
It's interesting. Keep going.
Obviously, they needed 2 clear point systems, so rather than going to quarter to, then obviously 1 would take you to 60. So they made the next score in 10, which would take you to 40. Then if you win the deuce, you go to 50 in advantage, then you would win it for 60.
That is actually
so they had to reduce the gap down to 10 to make the difference. So that is interesting.
That is
isn't it?
interesting. Lee Evans does a skit about it, and he just thinks that it's a toddler in the chair making it up. 15,
that could also be true in fairness.
30 juice, I want some juice. It's really good.
Yeah, that is good. Some people think it went back to actually Egyptian times, really way back.
What?
Because one theory is that it derived in a town called Tunis, which is just alongside the Nile in Egypt. And the word racket came from the Arabic word for the palm of the hand, rahat. So, I mean, could be, but more evidence is sort of 11th, 12th century France with French monks playing handball.
Yeah, that sounds more...
against the monastery walls.
That sounds a bit more plausible. We've waxed lyrical about Wimbledon loads, obviously.
Yes.
And obviously, my impending move back down to London, I think me and you should queue up for a day, Rob.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Have you done it before?
I have.
Like full day? Because you can do it one of 2 ways, the queue.
Yeah.
You can either go full ham...
Camp overnight.
Well, camp overnight, or get there stupid o'clock in the morning and do it from, the start of the day. Or you can pop around just after work finishes because people start to leave the grounds.
Yes.
And you get in the queue at 4 or 5 o'clock if it's a beautiful summer's evening. Loads of people are leaving. All the debenture seats are leaving because they've had too much Pims and champagne and all that kind of stuff, and they need to go home and... pay the cleaner or something. So then you queue up at 4 or 5 o'clock after work, and then you get about an hour of the outdoor courts as the sun's going down and all that kind of stuff, which is lovely. You go in for a pint. Have you done either of those?
Or a combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you sort of just get a ground ticket and walk around and then try and get on one of the show courts when the piss people are leaving.
Yeah. I've done every iteration of how to queue. I've done it. Me and Matt Houston, actually, who I went to drama school with, we got there at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we started queuing, and we got in around about, 8 o'clock in the morning. So we queued for 5 hours. Obviously, we were drinking it very early in the morning. And then we managed to get some ground passes, watched all the outdoor stuff. And then, like you said, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you start queuing up for the show court return tickets.
Yeah.
You pay about a tenner, and then you watch 3 or 4 sets if there's an absolute worldly game on. We saw Tsonga play Federer. It was amazing, and went to the 4th set.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. I've also done it, you finish work, and then you get down there, you get the tube down there, and then you just kind of waltz in. It's a very unique sporting experience, and I think it'd be good if we went down there and did that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what's lovely about tennis, and particularly the big Grand Slams or the big tournaments, I've been to Queen's Club actually, where it's more focused on a fewer courts, but on that big Wimbledon site, and I assume this to be true on all the big Grand Slams, is it's so rare to actually see multi-games going on and be able to drift in and out of games. Then you've got obviously the celebrity ones, plus just the experience of being at a sporting event, having a drink, walking around, taking in atmosphere. I'm a big fan. I think it's a really great sport, and it's a great television sport. I mean,
it is.
Lots of fond childhood memories of dashing home from school, putting on Wimbledon on BBC Two.
Yeah, me too.
Switching over to BBC One for the big games, back to BBC Two later on, and all those things. And it's a sort of sign of summer, and it was also a sign that the summer holidays aren't far away. And I don't know about you, when you'd watch it, then you'd also be really inspired to go out with your mates to the nearest tennis court and pretend that you were whoever your favourite player was as a kid. Yeah. So who were your favourite players?
I was a big fan of Sampras and Agassi.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You were a fan of Sampras?
Yeah, I loved him because he was an arsehole.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Absolutely loved
That was one of the dullest eras of tennis in my life.
No, not at all.
Say.
Quite enjoyed it, but I missed McEnroe because I'm too young for
Yeah.
that. I thought Agassi was awesome.
Agassi was great.
Great shots.
Yeah.
Kind of glided around the court. And Sampras, just power and shots and baseline long hits and all that kind of stuff. Loved it. Really loved
but
it.
it was the sort of peak of the serve volley day, which is why Agassi really stood out, right? Because he was the baseliner who could take them on.
But I love serve volleying. I find it's aggressive, especially when you play tennis. Because obviously, as we've just seen, we're both crap at tennis. So you manage to get your second serve and dribble it over and then sprint into the net and you're like, come on then, try and lob me, come on then. And then you just beat him at the net. I love it. It's great.
Obviously, we've just had the French Open, Wimbledon's upcoming, and the Stage Athletic over 30s doubles league is in mid-swing at the minute, and it looks like Naomi and Stephen are probably going to take that again. Very annoying. But I mean, doubles is definitely the way, isn't it, for amateur tennis, I think. You can have more fun.
Yeah, I agree. In my time in living in Queen's Park, and because I worked at Wimbledon. I did a summer.
Well, yeah, I mean, really keen listeners to the podcast in very early episodes 1 or 2. We heard you regaling us with stories of smelling Sue Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you worked at Wimbledon.
And I called her Sue Baker and she just smelled like bread. So obviously I was obsessed with tennis that summer.
Yeah.
So I would try and go, and I actually went to a few classes in Regent's Park. There's some tennis courts at some hard courts at Regent's Park.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to a couple of classes and it's just you and some middle-aged women playing doubles and it's really, really quite sweet. And the coach was a quintessential tennis coach in his 50s.
Really tan.
Hello, very tan. Lovely to see you. Yes, very good. Yes, Jack.
Short
shorts, very short. But a bit Cliff Richardy, that kind of thing.
Yes,
so it was quite an experience, actually, but it was very, very sweet.
Cliff Richardy.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, weirdly, before you came in, I was just telling James, I had some tennis lessons in Mallorca years ago, and I split with David. And I was telling you, there's one legacy of it, really, that I still hold on to. What was your takeaway from your tennis lessons? When
you're holding a racket, you should be holding it as if you're shaking hands with it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that too.
So, because I was obviously holding the racket like a cricket bat, to be fair. Roland.
Yes, holding on for dear life.
Holding on for dear life, yeah. And he was like, no, as if you're shaking hands with the racket handle. So that was really useful. And the other one was serving, getting slice serves sorted. So obviously I'm trying to go for ultimate power at the top of my leech.
Yes, down the line, on the tee, ace.
But he said, no, don't worry about that. Try and get your slice serve sorted. So it's up and you're coming across the ball. And he said to me, what did he say? He said, wave to your opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Wave to your opponent with your handle and your
I saw you waving a bit today.
And you just kind of come across the ball and you get that really big kick, especially on hard courts, because obviously it's slower on hard courts.
Yes.
Kind of spins off and takes the left. So, yeah, that was my takeaway with it. What was yours? Any good tips?
I was saying to James, just a consistency between the time that the ball bounces and you hitting it.
Yes.
To try and work, because that means you get your body into the right position. But in the spirit of Sandy Toksvik, do you know why we have yellow balls in tennis?
We did. We used to have white balls back in the day, didn't we?
Used to have white balls, yeah. And Wimbledon retained that for some time.
Is it to do with the chalk?
Ooh, good question. Oh, God, I feel like there should be a big buzzer sound now. You do give a little bit of, what's he called? The captain on QI?
Alan Davis.
Yeah, you give a bit of Alan Davis.
Do I?
A little bit, yeah.
I've never heard that.
Floppy hair.
In the same way that you give, I don't know, Alison Hammond.
Well, I'm laughing a bit like Alison Hammond.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, God, I think that's a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Alison Hammond.
You do have her humour. You're very funny.
You say breasts. I am very well. Yeah, so in the, fun fact, in the 60s, a relatively young and upstart TV producer by the name of David Attenborough was the controller of BBC Two and was looking for some new sports to televise that worked well on telly. And he was drawn to tennis because 2 cameras were required only. And obviously, I imagine also in the same way that rugby league doesn't get any knighthoods and tennis and cricket and all the rest of it do. Probably it was a middle-class sport that drew him to it as well. But the white balls, when they did some research into it, they were struggling to see the white balls possibly because of the lines as well, Jack, on the telly. So they did some research of various coloured balls, and it was the yellow ball, or the optic yellow as it became known, and that proved to be the best on telly and for the crowds. And so the International Tennis Federation adopted that, obviously thrilled that, you know, the BBC were interested in televising sport and getting it to a wider audience. So they regulated for yellow balls, but Wimbledon, the All-England Tennis Club, resisted for some time for white balls, as they would.
As they would, obviously.
But then finally relinquished. And so they insisted on white balls until 1986. And then that turned to yellow balls. But also, do you know who used to run tennis in Britain?
Is this a name or a company?
An organisation.
An organisation.
NASA.
I'm going to go with...
Woolworths.
a company, an organisation.
Think snouty middle-class people as well.
Snouty middle-class people.
Formality. Ties.
West Riding County Council? I don't know.
Oh,
Croquet?
Oh, why can't I think of them?
Oh.
I know,
Go on.
James has got it. It's on the
the
tip of his
Freemasons.
tongue. No, what, the 2000s Ibiza dance band? Notorious for their remixes of Sophie Ellis-Bextor. No, it was the MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club.
Interesting.
Used to administer tennis for some time. Don't really know much more about the transition of that, but that's interesting. You can imagine that as well, can't you? And you think of the All England Cricket Club, it's got a bit of MCC about it, hasn't it?
Very, very
Club
much so.
vibes, badges, ties, exclusivity,
Very
etc.,
exclusive.
etc.
It's a glorious place, though. I do love a bit of tennis. I like it's. I've wanted to join a tennis club for quite a while because I think it's a different atmosphere as opposed to joining to, say, a football club or a cricket club or anything like that. And I quite like the sensibility of it
Makes
all.
me think of swingers, and I don't mean rackets.
Really? Does it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think tennis clubs, the ones
makes me
I've been
think of
to.
that.
Marjorie
Yeah.
and Bert have been at it again. Should we put the keys in the bowl again? Yeah. We'll see you at Hampstead Heath. That sort
Yeah.
of thing. Oh, okay, fair enough. Have you played any like consistent tennis over your days? Did you ever get into it?
This just speaks to my absolute delusion and arrogance and
Okay.
precociousness as a child. But
You?
I was I was getting into tennis a little bit, and my mum was an excellent tennis player. My mum, great sports person, really good netballer, great tennis player, trained as a PE teacher. And when we used to go play, you know, she didn't hold back against me. She would just have me running around the court like an absolute dickhead, because she was sending the ball to all the corners and didn't really move off her spot. I
can see that.
Bloody
hell, Mom! Stop bloody hell!
Oh, for God's sake, give us a chance, for God's sake. And so it was great because it embedded a bit of competitiveness and in sport for me.
You're not very competitive, though, Rob. That's odd.
No, not
Not at all.
I've trained myself out of that. But invariably, the vanity of myself meant that I really got obsessed in kits, and particularly Stefan Edberg's Adidas kits of the 80s and 90s. So great. And he used to have great kits in his dominance. And so I'd got a full kit version of one of Stefan Edberg's outfit. And because essentially I just really wanted to wear the outfit, I then looked into a tennis tournament in Wakefield, asked my dad to take me along. I entered without the skill to do it. And so I was mortified. I mean, I didn't even have a good serve. And I entered this round with my sort of blind faith, optimism, arrogance, ego, essentially just to get in front of people wearing this full kit.
Oh, dear.
Which obviously made me look like a full kit wanker. And then when I couldn't deliver, and I got absolutely trounced by other juniors
How
of
old
my
were you
age who
here?
weren't even really good. Oh, I don't know, like 13 or something.
30?
14.
40?
It's just... it's so embarrassing. It's like, great for my parents to support me in that
Very much
situation,
so,
but how dare I think I could go put myself in that position?
Oh, let's not be too
What a
harsh
dickhead.
on little Rob. You're only 13. I don't think 13-year-olds are pretty well copers mentors just yet. But that's a good effort, though. Well done.
Have you played
No,
any
I've never
competitive
played
tennis?
any competitive tennis. I would really like to, but my knees are not great, and tennis is not a good sport for knees.
Yeah.
A lot of pivoting, change of direction very quickly over a short area of court.
Yeah.
So I'm ACL deficient in my right knee, and if that buckles,
Yeah, you've
I'm
never
screwed.
mentioned that.
Have I not? It's congenital. I was born without one, so it's very fascinating. Warhorse was a nightmare. I don't know if I'll tell you about it one day.
Dear.
But I do love the tennis.
James just rolled his eyes.
Yeah, he has. Sorry, James. Sorry, bored. Sorry, we're not talking
Yes.
about cowboys and bloody shooting and stuff.
There is a great national online-based tennis club called Local Tennis Leagues, and they set up leagues all over the country where you enter and then you book your own courts. They're kind of location-based, so there's one here in Clapham, there's Kennington, all over London, and they're often associated with a public court where people will meet and play. But I did join that a few years ago and stuck with it for a few years, just as a way of trying to have some exercise and a bit of competitive sport, and I played in that and I really enjoyed it, and I sort of went up and then I would come down a bit and then beat people and go up again and found my sort of level. But I had to give it up because I was getting really down about it, because
Why?
it is such a psychological sport, tennis.
God, yeah.
And I just found I was defeating myself. You know, I was going for shots that I shouldn't. If I was in winning positions, I would lose them because I would bottle it and just be like,
It's a very mental sport.
Oh.
Yeah, and we've
all
spoken
mental.
about individual sports. They're just so psychological. I mean, in team sports, it's huge, but on a golf, tennis, all that kind of stuff, the psychological pressure they have in it, and even in an amateur league of tennis, even me playing recreationally with friends, I have gone Fruit Loop crazy, just going mental.
Yeah.
Like, that was in John
Yeah.
McEnroe, full stuff, rackets being smashed and stuff. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is quite what's the word? Exposing tennis.
Yeah.
Very, very exposing. I think there's a new angle on this podcast going forward. I think every few weeks or every month or something, me and you should go and play each other at a sport.
I mean, that is great, but we've said so many things that we're going to do on this podcast that we never do. I'm just really hesitant
No, but I'm going to be in London, and
commit.
what's a game of tennis? What's a game of...
Yeah, I'm up.
What's a game
Recorded
of
games.
Yeah,
I mean, what a
round
listen
of
it'll
golf?
be.
But like, we'll just do it, and we'll actually be in the clubhouse after going, fucking hell, I'm knackered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That'd be quite funny.
You're saying that people don't believe we actually just played tennis.
Oh yeah, sorry, we have just played tennis. Yeah, clubhouse is great. We'll put some tennis noises in the background. Yeah, but like, we could go and try different random sports. Like, we can go and play like
I'm in.
ping
I'm
pong
all in.
or snooker
Yeah.
or random stuff.
Totes.
I think that might be good. But yes, I will put a pin in that. Comment below. Comment on our socials what sports you think me and Rob should play each other at. That might be quite fun. But yeah, I mean, tennis is. I love tennis. I specifically love Wimbledon as well. It's like a festival of just pomp and beauty and perfection and
All-time favourite player to watch?
easy. Roger Federer, gotta be.
Yeah.
Oh, what a man! What a beautiful, beautiful man inside and out, on and off the court. A big fan. I watched his. I went to the final. I've spoken before, but he lost to Djokovic. It was heartbreaking. But when he won I think he won the third set. We went absolutely crazy. He lost 3-1 sets, but 20 whatever he is, I can't remember.
Yeah.
What about you? Who are you going for?
Totally, yeah. I mean, Federer. I mean, some of those Federer and Nadal epic matches, just amazing.
Because Nadal, Djokovic, Murray. We've been when the four of them were at the top of their game. That
incredible.
was like perfect tennis for like 5-6 summers. It was brilliant.
But I loved watching Steffi Graf as well. I used to really enjoy.
Oh God, I've
watching
seen
Steffi
Serena
Graf.
Williams.
It's so great.
She's such an incredible
Serena Williams,
player.
so powerful and competitive, and just amazing era.
I've seen
of,
Coco
like,
Gauff
Nina
as well.
Roger.
Coco Gauff was great fun when she was bursting onto the scene at Wimbledon. Really great player.
But also that sort of era of women's tennis where you had Monica Seles and who's the Belgian?
Kim Clijsters.
Anna Konikova.
Yeah. God, she's
And then
beautiful.
obviously prior to that, I mean, it's probably 2 years. Oh God, it's stunning. And then prior to that, I caught the end of the Navratilova, Chris Evert period,
for sure.
and some great games there.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, I used to have Stefan Edberg. Obviously, Boris Becker, I remember watching that final and him leaping around and winning at age 16. And even like Ivan Lendl, who you kind of loved to hate, and because he was so sort of devoid of any character and personality and was sort of automaton on court.
Which was totally kind of mirrored when he was coaching Andy Murray to his first Wimbledon title.
It was a great combination.
He just doesn't look like Andy Murray's going insane, weeping on the court. His mom is just being held because she just can't contain her emotion. Cuts to Ivan Lendl and it's just like, Oh, it's a lasagna for tea then. That'll be nice. It's just
I think I
doesn't
might
care.
have said this before when I've done
God.
like my
Oh,
Andy
again.
Murray impression, but I do really feel like he should be credited for like changing the perception of British sport. You know, because prior to that, tennis was a symbol. Like Henman's sort of glorified failure
Come on,
was sort of just
Tim.
symptomatic of British sport.
Come on,
football as well.
Tim. Come on, Tim.
I know.
Please,
It was
Tim.
wet and like, you know, we were tolerated it again because people sense I've got some sort of class ego, but we tolerated it because he was charming and middle class and Tim and everyone was so British, and we tolerated this sort of glorified failure all the time. And it
let's not be
echoed
too
through all
hard
our
on
sport
Tim.
and our football teams, and then Murray was like, no, I'm not having that. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go win
I've
it.
got to
Yeah.
win. And I think it changed our cultural relationship to sport.
I agree,
And we were
actually,
like,
yeah.
we should all be thinking about winning and not celebrating the fact we came to the quarterfinals.
It's very true,
once every
actually.
3 years.
There are a few names in a lot of sports, in individual sports, that have changed the dynamic and the perception of British sport. Andy Murray, Gareth Southgate, Johnny Wilkinson, Lewis Hamilton, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's true. All Jessica Ennis,
Yes.
all of the Olympic GB team in 2012.
Yeah.
You could feel that shift because when I was a
Bronze
kid,
is not enough. Let's get
it's not enough.
gold.
Yeah. And we can
Yeah.
do this. Let's go for it. It's very true.
Why
actually.
can't we? Yeah, totally.
And Murray was definitely a part of that. And when he won it finally, God, that was epic. I remember watching that final. It was absolutely epic. One of the greatest
Yeah.
sporting achievements that I've ever
Yeah.
seen anyone. It was brilliant.
Yeah, totes.
So yeah, man.
All right, well,
Do you want another game? I mean, I can beat you again if you'd like me to.
I'd rather just have a game of pool and a pint
Yeah, fair play.
You could meet in the middle and play table tennis.
No, that's too much effort. It's
on the
very
pool
good.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
But I love
pool
table tennis.
I love table tennis. Table tennis is great. I need to go back to talk to my agent because I've got actually work things to do, Rob. Sorry.
Oh, really?
about
Have you
that.
actually got an audition?
Yes, I have.
Great. Good.
Yeah, which pantomime?
Yeah, good. Very
Which
good.
pantomime?
You've been watching Jeremy Clarkson rip into Richard Hammond, which is quite funny, actually. He keeps saying that
It
Richard
is.
Hammond going to play Buttons in Swindon one day.
Yeah.
That's
Is
not
this
going to-
Clarkson's Farm you're on
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Would you recommend I watch?
That's
It's very good.
It's
Even
good.
for people that don't like Jeremy Clarkson, it's fantastic.
I mean, he's obviously Marmite, and he's politically, I mean, he's just a raging capitalist, and it's very difficult to watch at times. But, you know, in terms of, like, entertainment, he's very funny, and that cast of people, they are quite funny.
I also do appreciate what he's doing for farming as well.
Yeah, but, like, this is the thing, James. If he really wanted to do more, why don't you just not buy a farm and put all the money that you've done into charities and mental health charities for farmers? Put your money where your mouth is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, he
He's a
could do both of those things.
But he's not, though, is he? He's making
No,
money off this show. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose not. Yeah, but when you're watching the show, he brings in all the local farmers, doesn't he? So he is helping the other farmers.
Why does he
in the
need? Why
area.
does he need a TV show to do that,
This
James?
debate could rage.
Yeah, because
I'll probably
the
fade it
TV
out
show
here.
actually brings light to farming in the country in general, because actual farmers that watch the show have all said that it's done more for farming than Country File has done in its whole time on air.
Well, that's great.
That is a big statement.
I was going to say
Country
that's
File
great, but
is
that is
excellent.
Country File is great with Matt Baker.
I'm a big
what a
fan
legend.
of Country File.
Me too. I'm a big
That is
fan
also a
of
sign of getting old.
Yeah.
Is actually really
Cup of tea
enjoying
and
the
bed.
features on
I just
Country
don't,
File.
I find him. I obviously don't like Jeremy Clarkson politically or morally. I think he's a bit of a. Well, I'd insert expletive, but you know, it's just like if you're going to do anything, like why are you doing it? You're making a hell of a lot of money off this. So why?
I'm just going
He's
to
not very
quickly plug,
philanthropic.
Two
though,
things can be true at the same time.
the Dyke Tavern in Brighton is the only pub in Brighton that is currently stocking Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkston beer.
You proud of that?
So
that.
if anyone wants to come and try some of that, please come and visit. And if you're a local tennis club, you actually get 10% off, and I'm not joking. So
That was weird. No way.
Yeah.
Amazing. Full
So
circle.
it's very relevant.
Circle. All the best. See you next week.
Farmhouse season, I can drink them both. Cream ale, steam ale, all down the hatch. Beer to God, Irish red, a small bit of batch. Oh, what the hell is Bach Kolsch in my glass? Schwartz beer, Weizenbach, Scotch ale from the cask. Pale ale, wit beer, Pilsner and a stout. Sour ale, Vienna lager, that's what I'm about. Oktoberfest, barley wine, double IPA. Dunkelweizen, my Bach, a triple IPA. Blonde